Welcome back to Seriously Funny, hosted by me, Mashnor Kabir. And today, as you can see from the title, we are reviewing blackbear's latest album that came out uh, at the time of hearing this a week ago on August 21st. Everything Means Nothing. Though the album was dropped in two parts, a 12-song album, the first 6 songs were dropped about a month ago, and the last 6 songs were released on August 21st. I've been following blackbear for the past 6 to 7 years of my life. I love everything he's made, and this album, spoiler alert, is a 15 out of 10 album. I loved it. The only problem I had was that two-part thing. I don't think that's the move. He's gone from an R&B artist to a more pop artist, and this album was, on the day of the drop at least, the number one pop album on the iTunes chart, and it might still be. While I do really miss the old Black Bear, that R&B vibe was fire. I'm glad that Bear's been able to quit the drugs and has a kid now. Although some lyrics point to him doing drugs, they are often referencing something else. But his kid's really cute and wonderful. I'm glad that he's doing well. And this Pop Bear, it does seem like a different artist than the old stuff, but still absolutely incredible. Messing with my mic stuff. I've noticed that moving away from the mic is worse than just turning it down, so I thought I would do that instead. I think I turned it down too much, so going back up. Anyways, yeah, let's get on to this. The first 2 songs on the album, Hot Girl Bummer and Me and Your Ghost, were released way before this album was released. The songs are high energy, fun songs, and both did really well before being released on the first part of the album. Hot Girl Bummer is more or less a completely ignorant song. Me and Your Ghost was a pop upbeat song, but spoke on a more somber post-breakup situation, singing, quote, "I'm not alone, it's just me and your ghost in this crippling depression. I thought I learned my lesson, but I threw out my phone and I burned all your clothes," end quote. The third song on the album was Queen of Broken Hearts, which was a single to tease the album and was released a week or two prior to the part 1 drop of the album. I'm really bad with time. Bear went on to Genius to break this album or this song down, stating that the song was dedicated to social media, who is, in the song, personified as a queen, specifically the Queen of Broken Hearts, of course. Bear talks about his problem with social media, which he's had for a while. I know, since I've followed him for so long. Specifically in the interview, he says social media is like an addiction and how, quote, "staying in the loop," end quote, has become an injurious action. The people are always trying to, quote, "keep up an aesthetic," end quote, he said in the interview. And that correlates to, quote, "it's a heavy crown, it might drown me," end quote, in the song. Those are some lyrics. I could continue, but if you're curious, give the interview a listen. These first 3 songs on the album are written in the span of 3 days, he said. They're similar upbeat, and so their sound supports this. And they all did really, really well, so they're great songs. The next 3 songs were first heard when the first part of the album dropped. These were like the first new songs on the album that we heard with the part 1 drop of the album on, don't even remember when it was. And it started with, the first one was I Feel Bad, track number 4. I Feel Bad was a really popular song when it dropped. Again, it's a very upbeat song with rapping instead of just pop, and he goes fast on it a little bit. I was surprised to hear on a pop album when I first heard this song, but it was jarring for Bear, but it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it, especially since I don't hear Bear rap that often, but it turned out to be a song that I play on repeat a lot. At first I was sus, but it grew on me at least a lot. And this song, it talks about someone who's good at making you feel bad. Say if you're into someone and they seem to be into you, but every time they come around, they bring you down. Like in Poor Stacy's song, quote, "Make Up," end quote. He writes, quote, "It's like every time I pick myself up, something brings me back down. I need you to get away from me," end quote. The situation usually happens when you get attached to someone and don't want to cut them loose, even though they're bad for your health because they're attractive, they're manipulative, or they're kidnapping you. I don't know, but I definitely related to this way more than I'd like to admit. Overall, though, especially with the fast flow that Bear hit, an absolute amazing song. And although about something down, upbeat song, reminding me of The Way Life Goes by Uzi. The next song was, which is kind of this album. A lot of it is talking about depressing stuff, but it's a like the sound is all more or less positive, except for the last song and the song we're gonna discuss right now, which is probably my favorite in the first drop. I Feel Too Much, a nice and slow, soft blackbear classic song that really makes you feel too much. I Feel Too Much is also extremely relatable for me, with lyrics like, quote, I don't want to feel too much, I don't want to speak, don't call, I don't want to feel it all, end quote, all the things I want to say, I keep them all inside, end quote. He also says, quote, and laying by omission is worse than effing lying, end quote, which in a lot of situations can really be true. Aside from the lyrics, the instrumental of the song really attracted me to it as well, and the slight humming between the chorus verses, that was incredible, absolutely marvelous. I liked it. This song reminded me of One-Sided Love from his previous album, Anonymous. Another thing I'm noticing looking through the album is that in Anonymous, the album and every track is in caps, the writing of the name of the songs in the album, while in Everything Is Nothing, this album, everything is lowercase. The title's lowercase and every song is lowercase. Even when he writes I, like it's a lowercase I instead of a capital I, referring to himself. Don't know if that was on purpose, but knowing musicians and how much they put into the specifics, the minute details of their album, probably was. Next was I Felt That. For music on the album, I didn't listen to this song much, and it went pretty under the radar. The part one drop of the album. Not sure why. It was an amazing song and also has that nice classic blackbear vibe. This song talks about big surprise about a toxic relationship. Someone who is lying to him constantly when he was with. It was euphoric, but now he's not enjoying it so much. Writing, quote, you made me want to live forever. Now I want to die, end quote. Overall, the song is great, but being slept on even by me, so not sure why, but it's happening, which is true for another song, Half Alive, we'll get to later. The next song that dropped, the first song that dropped in part 2 of the album last week, was Sobbing in Cabo. I'm presuming that's how you pronounce it, which, from the moment I heard it, loved it. The beats, amazing. Crazy bass, which I'm an absolute sucker for. This song is about getting left and being stuck in the past, waking up and going through life after someone leaving you, but not having any closure, since he sings, quote, I just can't get a hold of you anymore, end quote, baby, baby, where'd you go, end quote, meaning, he still thinks about him and he still attempts to reach out because, sometimes they're just gone. This song goes hard, though. Very upbeat song, which I'm saying is a theme of the album. A lot of ambivalent songs, which are upbeat, but are about more sad stuff, as I said earlier, which is very Bear-esque. To me, this shows that it's something happening, but you don't care. Taking something depressing and painful and making an upbeat, quote, haha, end quote, type vibe. I do that with a lot of things, so I get that, right? That idea of being funny about things that matter, and I just blew into the mic. I hope that didn't sound too horrible. Being funny and making fun of serious things, or what people would presume are serious things, like feeling bad and stuff. The next song on the album was the first feature, or has the first feature on the album, Trevor Daniel, who Bear has another song with, Falling, which is heat. And this song was even better. And The Falling was Trevor Daniel's song that Bear featured on. I love the lyrics in this song, especially, quote, paint our faces like a clown. Let's pretend we're happy now, end quote. And I really relate to, quote, put my phone down and someone's got to take it before I smash it on the ground, end quote. Because screw phones, bruh. I don't like having a phone. I don't like always being wired into the world, man. It's so much work. And with school, man, I literally just send some emails that I really hope don't screw me over. To my physics, or for physics, I don't even know, man. But being wired and constantly getting those red bubbles, constantly getting everything, man, sometimes when I think of being a monk, really, really, really attractive. So, yeah. But yeah, the song was dope. I really liked it. Roller coasters up and down. I don't even remember the freaking lyrics, but it was really good. Sang for you a little bit there. Hope you enjoyed. Maybe one day if I remember actual lyrics, I'll sing. I think someone listening to this, my cousin, listens to every freaking episode. Shout out you, buddy. He likes my singing and said you should do it, and I was like, maybe one day. Um, but yeah, as someone that's a celibate by choice, which is probably another podcast episode on me, I really felt these lyrics. Quote, I let myself down. I said I'd never fall in love, but I'm looking like a clown, end quote. Sometimes, man, I'm still straight and I still am attracted to women, and some of them are attractive, whether it be looks or personality. Some of them really got it. And never fun when I fall into the lust. Not the love, but the lust. The song was a vibe, though. Not too fast, not too slow, a really great pace. And Trevor killed it with his singing. Great feature, and they are a great duo. And I'm not sure if Trevor's in Bear's label, Bear Trap, but I think he is. The next song is Half Alive. This song was also a vibey song. Not too upbeat, but not low beat. In the middle, which works great for reasons I'll bring up later. In the middle of the album, which brings great for reasons I'll bring up later. This, man, lost my track there. Anyways, this song has great lyrics like, quote, should have seen the gap between her thighs, end quote, which is funny. Other than some other lines, though, the song isn't as memorable as the others, as I mentioned earlier. It sounds great, but for some reason, it's not hooking me onto it. Maybe later I'll have it on repeat when the rest of the songs get old, because I'm playing this album so much. Well, second part at least. The next song is the second feature on the album with Love, which is dope. And the song is If I Were You. This song was quite interesting, as it was different from the rest of the album's, quote, screw you vibe, end quote, screw you, end quote vibe. Like, the songs are kind of F you, you sucked, you made me want to live forever, now I want to die. You know, it's kind of, making the other person, the female for Bear, the villain in the situation. But the way the song was written was strange. In the song, Bear says, quote, if I were you and you were me, I would say goodbye, turn around and leave. I'd do it all so differently if I were you and you were me. Yeah, I would get up in the middle of the dinner, pour a drink on your head, end quote. Which means that the girl should have never trusted him. It's really interesting, as he's calling himself the jerk in this song. I mean, literally, one of the lyrics said, maybe I wouldn't be such a penis. But it seems to show self-awareness and understanding the girl wasn't the only flawed one in the relationship. I respect the honesty and the different perspective that he put, flipping it and saying, yeah, I suck too. But it could also mean that, quote, if I were you, I'd never enter my life to save myself from the pain you caused me, end quote. Maybe an indirect F you. I don't know if you understand what that sentence meant. Also, Love did an absolutely fantastic job on this song. I love Love as his own artist, and he did absolutely incredible on this Bear song. The next extremely relatable song. I'm admitting some of this sometimes, man. The impression that people might get of me. The next extremely relatable song is Wired Girls, and I feel this song way too much. Quote, see it on my face, I should be over you, end quote. Quote, why are girls so hot? Why are girls so cold? Why are girls so beautiful, end quote, are just a few lyrics I really feel. It's like the song Gorgeous by Mansions, which is a band between Mike Posner and Blackbear, where they say, quote, did you know you're on fire? Did you know that you're beautiful? Did you know you got me effed up? Did you know that you're gorgeous, end quote. This song has a great energy again. It's vibey instead of just upbeat, just a nice vibe. And really relatable when you're trying to stay away, but these girls got to be hot, cold, and beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And they take everything you got. So, yeah. Man, some of my life experiences, people are probably really curious. Huh? Don't worry, they're not great stories. They're boring, but yeah. They're mostly just embarrassing on my side. Yeah. The last song on the album, which is, oh my God, a perfect ending. Bear did so well putting this album together for a reason that I'll explain in a second. The last song was Smile Again, and it's just a nice, simple guitar song by Blackbear. I felt like I peaked quite a few times. If I hurt your ears with that, my bad. So excited, but this last song was amazing. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's so good. Clown might be my favorite at the moment. I'm not sure. But it was a slow, calm, and poignant song with lyrics like, quote, and sometimes love will leave you, even when it's right, but I was happy for a while, end quote. And the way he sings, the sound of his voice specifically, in the song has this unexplainable attribute to it. It has this marvelous sound that ends the album just perfectly. A great last song, really. And man, yeah, I love this song so much, and the sound and the way he did his voice and the way he sang and everything was just right. I loved it. Smile Again. Yeah, to close though, Black Bear's album Everything Means Nothing is a fantastic album that will be a solid contender for album of the year. I'm 100% sure, and it might at this moment in time be my personal album of the year. We'll see what Trippy does with Pegasus in a bit here, probably in November, maybe a little sooner than that. But yeah, Everything Means Nothing, man, might be the AOTY, you know what I'm saying? The last thing I wanted to bring up with Bear's album is how he ordered it and the way he put the songs in order, like from, yeah, you get it. The album started out, the songs started with this really high energy, Hot Girl Bummer, Me and Your Ghost, Queen of Broken Hearts, and I Feel Bad. And then the album turned to this upbeat, but not as high energy, but upbeat with the songs Sobbing and Cabo and Clown. The album slowed then into a less upbeat high energy and into a vibey sound with songs Half Alive, If I Were You, Wire Girls. And it finally ended with that perfect, soft, slow Smile Again. And the only outliers are I Feel Too Much and I Felt That, which may have been placed there since he split the album into 2 drops and didn't want the first drop to be solely high energy. But if he released this entire thing, I think I Feel That, or I Feel Too Much and I Felt That might be on lower on the album. Or he might just like I Feel Bad, I Feel Too Much, I Felt That. Maybe just, you know, the feeling, the I feeling thing fit. I don't know why he, you know, could be a multitude of reasons. I have no idea. But as I stated, yeah, 15 out of 10 album. I loved it and I highly recommend the album. I'm going to put the YouTube, Apple Music, and Spotify links to the album in the description. Probably that genius interview for Queen of Broken Hearts. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for listening to this episode. If you're on YouTube, throw me that like and subscribe. I forgot to mention this in the last episode. If you're on any other platform, please leave a 5-star review and follow or subscribe me. Subscribe to the podcast and whatever platform you're on. Please give Seriously Funny a share. If you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Podcasts, I don't know if I'm on Google Podcasts yet, Pocket Cast, whatever you're on, or YouTube, give this podcast episode a share, or just this podcast and the episode you like. I hope you go through the other things if this is your first time listening. But anyways, yeah, thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing the album. Thank you. I will see you next. Actually, I got a few minutes here. So yeah, before I close, I should mention that this episode more or less was actually scripted. I wrote basically every word that I said in here. I threw some things in here and there, and I think I spoke better. Maybe I should do this until I can get into my head the speaking clear, because I had less stuttering in this show, and I think my ability to read out loud is pretty good. When I read nonfiction books, I've read nearly every day for the past 3 years out loud when I read nonfiction books. I guess I'm good at reading those nonfiction books. The only problem is writing jokes in is really weird and hard, and sometimes I would include a lull, and so I'd laugh probably awkwardly in the episode. So yeah, that's been very fun, hasn't it? Other than that, college starts tomorrow, and I'm actually recording this on Sunday, August, what is it? August 23rd. Yep, college starts tomorrow, which is not the greatest of feelings. I'm kind of scared about that physics thing that I might have completely screwed up, but we'll see. Gonna put this podcast together so I have this week just to my school. I already have my blog and everything written out, so that should be fine and dandy. But yeah, that's going to be it then for this episode. Yeah, there we go. Again, thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing this podcast to your friends, family, loved ones, hated ones, all of them. And as I said in a bit earlier, or I stopped myself, not sure. I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening. Hopefully the audio on this one's fine with me staying right next to my microphone.